All right, Milaeger fans. Well, we are here in the greenhouse, but we brought in some beautiful perennials. I'm with our manager, Jody Walker, who is going to talk to you and highlight, one of our biggest questions I think out there is what attracts the hummingbirds and the butterflies?
Oh,
right?
absolutely. And as you can see, we brought the butterfly garden inside on a cart.
Yeah, it looks fabulous.
These are all available right now for sale, and it is probably safe to plant everything here because we're just about to the last frost date, and all of these have been out for at least a week, so they're well acclimated.
Yeah, that's great. And the night temperatures this year have been looking great. I mean, the 10-day forecast, that's the important thing.
That's exactly right. So
where do you want to start? You could just bring this right to my garden right here. It looks like we're all good to go.
It would be a little crammed, so we want to make sure that when you plan your garden, that you are planning for their mature size and not for how much impact they are today.
Right. It's easy to get, like I'm in annuals here all the time, and it's easy to get excited and want to fill everything in and have all the beautiful blooms, but you're really smart and sane to really look at the spacing requirements for it.
Exactly. So we have a nice selection of things that are low growing and bushy, and other things that are taller, and will give you a beautiful garden as well as be very attractive to hummingbirds for sure. Let's start with that.
All right. And I can bring them closer to the camera too if that helps, okay?
Yeah. If you're looking at this one right here, we showed this one last year. It's called Echium, or red feathers, and it has the red flowers that hummingbirds love and the tubular flowers, and those are the two things that those birds are looking for, is that red color and a tubular shape. They're also looking for scent, although I don't know if the Echium has a good scent to it or not. What do you think?
Maybe a really faint little something, but the flowers are beautiful.
And they are just out there saying, "Come to me." So yeah, yes, that's a beautiful one.
And I know that they love to see like a whole smorgasbord of options, so that looks great.
The other one on here that the hummingbirds just absolutely love is the penstemon. This is Red Riding Hood penstemon, and unfortunately it has bowed down a little bit in the pot, but in your garden it will also be very much upright.
Oh, nice.
And again, that bright red flower with the tube-shaped flower. These don't have any scent, but my gosh, the hummingbirds just absolutely love them.
And so you're saying, like, if we plant this in the garden, then the new growth coming up, the flowers will be more upright.
Exactly. Okay, and penstemon is one that will just keep blooming for a while, so it has a nice long
buds coming up here.
Long bloom time.
Great.
So let's see, the other one on here that they just absolutely can't resist. Let me see if I can get it out of here without breaking anything. This is honeysuckle vine. This particular one is called Gold Flame. I think it's Gold Flame. Is this Gold Flame or Peaches and Cream? No, this is Gold Flame. And this is such a nice, beautiful plant for your garden. It's going to give you these beautiful blooms that smell so wonderfully sweet. They're very robust, so you're going to have to give them plenty of room. And the one that we have in our demonstration garden, I have to cut it back at least twice a season.
Wow. So they do, yeah. That's a great problem to have, though, right?
Yeah. Well, sometimes
right.
Sometimes
there's good and bad for that.
Particularly if you have a nice-sized trellis or arbor, it's a good plant to have growing up that. Now, I will say it does not bloom the entire season. You will get a good flush in the spring, usually late May, beginning of June. But then after that, sporadic blooming throughout the rest of the season. But the hummingbirds love it, the butterflies love it, the bees love it, we all love it. It's
that's perfect.
It's just a wonderful.
Everybody's happy. Win, win, win.
Exactly.
And I just love, the flowers are just so beautiful in that. And to have a nice climber, that's always a good option too.
Yes, indeed. All right, what else can I show you? We've got some natives on here as well.
Yeah, that's a big question, a popular question too, I'm sure over there in Perennials, that are people looking for, like, what are some native plants that you have?
One thing that I want to say about natives is that you're very rarely going to find a specific native that is the species, because they're not all that pretty. Usually. If you have the room to put in a native garden, then you might want to go with species only, but a lot of them are cultivars, and that's actually okay too, as long as the parents are from this area of the world. So one that is a nice one, that is a fairly early bloomer, is this Aquilegia canadensis.
Wow, so elegant.
And I'm sure a lot of us remember this from just, I remember them just growing up in my yard, if we wouldn't mow them. And it is very widespread in the Midwest here, and it's an early bloomer, so it's going to attract the. Why
Somebody
does this
needs
always
Jody.
happen? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Perennials,
So-
this is Jody.
Jody's got to answer that phone. We leave no customers behind. But we're looking at this beautiful flower. This has almost like that
Yes, I do.
elegance
I
of,
have them in 2-gallon pots. I believe they are $27.99. Yes, I should have those on the lot for sure. Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
No problem. We cannot ignore a customer. I hope you guys really see and understand that. Jody can't.
I don't
Jody
even know
can't
how to.
just ignore it. That's okay.
It's new, and I don't know how to mute it yet.
That's okay.
Oh my gosh. All right. So that's a nice native to have. It's an early bloomer. You won't get any bloom after that first flush, but it's nice to have that for the early comers,
Yes,
both the
yes.
butterflies and the hummingbirds, which tend to show up in our area in April. So
Right, and they're looking for something.
for
so
something
that's
that's something to eat, absolutely. Then this one behind you there, Kara, is called Silene or meadow pinks, yes. And this is another one that is, again, that tubular shaped flower is what the hummingbirds are looking for, but also the butterflies, because of course the butterflies' mouth parts are a straw also.
similar to that,
Yep,
right? Same shape. Pretty.
And that is a nice one for your meadow garden or native garden. And then, of course, always bee balm. I don't have any that's really in bloom yet. It's a little early for it.
Yeah, but look at that beautiful foliage.
Yeah.
And look, we've got a little bloomer here.
A little bit of a bloom there, and these really get started early June, and then they will go through July, and they are so attractive to the butterflies for sure, because again they have a very sweet fragrance, and that's what the butterflies are looking for. Hummingbirds too will go for those, but
Well, yeah, and it's that beautiful rich color too that
Exactly.
they're attracted to. But these are beautiful. Looks like there's going to be a lot of flowers on this one.
oh yes, and
Yeah.
they just keep coming, so there's not like any set number of flowers.
Beautiful, wonderful.
Okay,
All right.
what else shall we tell you about?
How about this?
I put the lupins in there. These are not natives, but they are just such a spectacular color in your garden, and these are mostly for the butterflies. I don't know that hummers actually go for them, but we do have the reddish color, and they will be attracted to that. And these will bloom, let's see, I think that these are like mid-June
Oh, okay.
bloomers.
Yeah, beautiful. I love seeing all these beautiful blooming perennials. They look fantastic.
So this is another one. This is also a native. This is called verbascum. Its common name, I believe, is malign.
Got it. I'm trying to be
And-
very careful here so we don't lose any precious blooms.
These are so exciting to me, because you see how you get your blooms coming out of the axils there. Once this has faded out, you nip it off. These come, and then the ones down lower, and then down lower, and they just keep blooming
Wow.
and blooming and blooming. And hummingbirds love them, butterflies love them, bees love them.
And what an exotic looking flower. What is the name of this one again?
Verbascum is
Okay.
the genus name, and malign is its common name, and it's an old-fashioned cottage garden one that is native to the United States. So
That is beautiful. I absolutely love it. Okay, what about this little guy here?
all right, scabiosas are not native, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look that up for sure, but these are ones that they have that nice flat landing pad that butterflies just really love.
Oh yeah, and I've seen like bumblebees on here.
Oh yes,
And they seem to
yes.
like it too.
So these are going to bloom. Again, these are more of a summer bloomer, and they will last for about a month, and then they fade back and let somebody else take center stage. These are nepetas or catmint, and these are just a garden staple. You have to have these. They mostly grow upright, but they will tend to flop over, so they're excellent for retaining walls and rock gardens
Oh,
and
yeah.
things like that. These are ones that once they are full of their flush of bloom and they're done with that, you can shear them off, and then they will just come up again. And you can do that probably
wow.
twice in the season. And again, for pollinators, this is their this is what they look for. This is the
Yes.
staple.
Yeah, and this is an easy one to grow too.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You're going to have good success with it.
Indeed. All right,
So let's jump back to the your row 2 here plants.
Row 2. I wanted to bring this one out. This one is called Bellis. This is English daisies, and they are a very early spring bloomer, which is a good thing to have again, because when you have your early comers, they want to have something to eat, and so this will be right there for them.
Well, I talked to a lot of customers that were in a panic in April and saying, what can I put out there? Because everybody's coming and they're hungry and they're looking for flowers. So this is a wonderful option.
And because they can tolerate the colder temperatures, you can get them out before you can put out your annuals that won't tolerate it.
Right.
So that's why that's a great one. This is another one of my group of favorites. These are called Agastachus or Hummingbird Mint.
Wow.
There it is, right in the name.
Yes. Can you see that one? That is beautiful. And look at, this is another whole smorgasbord, a feast, a buffet of beautiful blooms.
Absolutely.
And the color is fantastic.
Well, this one particularly is called Raspberry Swirl? What are you called? Royal Raspberry. And this is, the magenta color. It mostly comes in purples and blues. There's also one called Kudos Coral, so it's a orangey color, and then Apricot Sprite, which is just a little cute one that has a very orange flower.
Yeah, those corals, those oranges, apricots seem to be on a big trend right now.
Absolutely, and would go beautifully with something like the verbascum.
I love that.
There
I
you
want
go.
this for sure.
Okay, what else we got here? Speaking of orange, this one is the staple for monarch butterflies. This is jewel weed, or Asclepias tuberosa, and that it stays fairly small and it blooms later in the summer, so that it's right there for when the monarchs are coming on their migratory path. And it's because it is the Asclepias, that is what the monarchs specifically feed on, and they lay their eggs on them. So this one, and then the big one in the back, which is the swamp milkweed. These get to be fairly tall. They're going to be about 3 feet tall, and then they get a big puff of pink flowers on them. They are not the common milkweed, which has the big fat leaves, which you'll see in fields.
Right.
But they are one that you can put in your garden and just enjoy it as a pretty flower. But the monarchs will lay their eggs on it, and I've seen caterpillars on there. We've sold them with caterpillars on them in the past.
Yeah, that's
so that's
exciting.
always a great thing.
I'll set that back in place.
Yep.
All right, what else?
Let's see. I didn't have any cone flowers that were really blooming yet. This is my early starter. This one is called Coral Craze, and it is a very early bloomer. So it's going to start to bud up earlier than the normal mid-June that you'll see this.
Yeah.
But cone flowers, again, are a staple for butterflies. But hummingbirds will be attracted to the red colors, but not so much of the others. But butterflies and bees, this is what they are looking for. And cone flowers are so satisfying because they just last and last.
That's
and they're
wonderful.
They're pretty easy to grow.
Longer bloom time, pretty easy to grow. And then as you're planting your perennial garden, and like the plants you pulled here, you can see that it's important to have a lot of variety in the different shapes and textures.
A very diverse garden is going to be the best thing for pollinators.
Yes.
Okay, this one is a foxglove called Pink Panther, and again, tubular flower, pink or red color, and that's what the hummingbirds are going to go for.
It's really important, and I've always been in love with this flower.
Yes.
It's just so beautiful and elegant.
This one too, as you'll notice, you're getting axillary buds coming here. So when this taller one is finished or finishing up, you can cut it back, and then you will get the buds coming there. So it'll lengthen the bloom time for it.
This has that same cottagey garden feel to it.
Yes.
I love that. It has a little bit of romance to it. So
I
wanted to bring that one forth. And then you have some irises on here.
Yes, irises are a butterfly favorite.
Now, I didn't know that, but I love irises, so this is
I love
fantastic.
the irises too. We were able to get a number of the larger bloomed ones in. We've always had the Siberian ones with the smaller blooms, but these make such an impact. I really love the perennial gardening where you're waiting for that boom to happen with various ones throughout the season. So like for instance in the spring you get a boom out of the creeping phlox. Midsummer, you're going to get a boom out of irises, and
Yes.
then later you're going to get the boom out of the tall phlox, and it's just worth the
timing
wait.
and all, right,
Yeah.
worth the wait. Absolutely. What is this one called? This beautiful white color. Glowing seraphim?
Glowing seraphim. Yep.
And it has some fragrance to it
Does
too.
it really?
Yeah. Can you smell
Oh
it?
yeah. Yeah, it's a
I
little
love
spicy.
these. I know. I love that. Fantastic.
All right, what
And
else?
peonies. How about peonies?
Peonies are a staple of the old-fashioned garden. This particular one, let's take that sign off of there. This particular one is called Hawaiian pink coral.
Perfect name.
I know, right?
Yes.
And this is a lactiflora, so this is one of the less expensive ones we have. We do have a number of itos, and we also have tree peonies. Those people look at that and they get a little bit of sticker shock because they're thinking, "Holy smokes!"
Right.
But honestly, the ito peonies and the tree peonies are almost shrubs. So it is they don't need the staking. They are going to get big enough to have just a gazillion blooms on them, and really, when again, talk about your boom factor.
Yes. Absolutely.
When they are in bloom, they're showstoppers,
Yes.
and they will last and last for years. So this is a lactiflora, and it will also be, last for years, but it will need a little staking to keep it upright.
Yeah, but what gorgeous flowers. I just think
Indeed.
that's fantastic.
What have we missed here? Anything?
What
the
are
lavender.
these guys?
Well,
oh yeah, grab the lavender.
well,
Do
that's
you
the
wanna go
same
there?
thing as this
Oh yeah, I
echium,
see it. Yes.
but lavender is one that people think that it's very difficult to grow, and the only thing that I found that it's hard to grow with these is that you kill them with kindness, because they really kind of want to be left alone.
Yes.
They want plenty of sunshine. They want a little bit of rain. They don't want to go bone dry, but they also don't want to be soggy. So make sure that where you plant them, it is someplace that drains very well and has plenty of sunshine and air circulation, and then you will get beautiful lavender to attract your
Yes,
butterflies,
yes.
and also to put it
I
in
feel
your
like I'm in a
house.
spa right
I
now.
know,
It smells
right?
so good. And that good drainage, I think, is the most important thing.
Exactly.
They don't like those wet feet. How about some of the last thing, the vines that you have on here?
So these vines, of course, are Clematis. This one, I can't say the name. It's HF something or other. I'll have to look at it.
Where is the tag?
Kevin was looking at that the other day, and he says, "Do you know those blossoms are as big as my hand?" And yes,
Oh, the
they
tag's
are.
on top.
Tags on top.
Oh, it's right by me.
Okay, this is called HF Young Clematis, and it's a taller one, so it's going to be well, they're vines, so they're indeterminate, but you're going to get a vine that's probably going to be 10 to 12 feet. So it's great for your
Wow.
larger trellises.
Wow. Yes.
But again, look at the size of the
I know.
bloom.
This
It's the
is such
size
a
of my hand.
magnitude. It is incredible. I just love to see the cluster of them all together.
Right?
Too.
And then
you
I
have
noticed that
another
there's
one here too, right?
this one is Niobe, I think. No, it's something different. Westerplatte Clematis. We get these in from Monrovia, and so they're grown on the west coast. So they're a little bit further ahead than we are here. That's okay. The only thing you need to be worried about when you plant your clematis is to make sure that it's not going to be in the middle of a windstorm, or if the temperatures dip down. So I do counsel my customers, be patient with planting. You can wait until the 15th of May. You
Yeah.
can wait, just keep it in the pot, keep it outside, and plant it when the ground is ready to receive it. So.
Oh, plant when the ground is ready to receive it. I love your words, Jody. It's so good. It's so true. And look at this one. How many buds are on here?
That's
I mean, whoever
that's
gets
going to be
this one is gonna
spectacular.
be
Yep.
One lucky customer. But I do agree with that because, even though the days are getting warmer, the ground is still so cold.
It
And
is.
so forcing plants into there can really put them into a shock.
Well, actually, it's not so much that they shock. That's also true. But what they do is they stop metabolizing. They stop growing. They just sit and wait until it's time to grow. But what happens in that time period while they're not growing, they are very susceptible to fungal diseases.
Okay.
So a healthy plant, when its roots are growing, is actually exuding its own pesticides. So it has its
Yeah, it's in its own natural way, like its own
its own
protection.
natural protections, and that happens while the plant is actively growing. And if it's not growing, then it loses that protection, which makes it vulnerable to fungal diseases and other
Well,
kinds.
we're on the
kinds of-
home run. We're almost there. The middle of May. I mean, we're
I
getting
know,
there.
it's so hard to not be excited. This weekend's going to be gorgeous.
Yes.
We've got so many beautiful things. So if you like, for instance, these lupins, we have ones
know.
that are waist high right now.
Oh,
so
incredible. Wonderful Mother's Day gifts. For
Absolutely,
sure.
yes,
So it's going to be
yes.
spectacular. Well, thank you for the little mini tour of everything that's available on the perennial lot. I mean,
there's
that's
more.
just- oh, I know.
I had a hard
Incredible.
time choosing what to put on
Well,
here.
we'll have to do another one, you guys. Let us know what you'd like to learn more about with the perennials especially, and we'll do another interview with Jody. Just keep us posted on what you'd like to learn about.